Imagine this, you're in the middle of a great conversation with a younger woman. The vibe is perfect, and then out of nowhere she asks, "How old are you?" You freeze. In that moment, everything feels like it's riding on your answer. Do you play it cool, tell the truth, or try to joke your way out? The truth is, what you say next can either ignite her interest or completely derail the connection. Now, here's the thing most people don't realize. When a younger woman asks your age, it's not just a casual question. It's a subtle test of your confidence, your ability to own who you are, and how well you understand the dynamics of attraction. What if I told you there's a way to answer that not only works every time, but also flips the script, turning what could be an awkward moment into a chance to create intrigue and deepen the connection? In this video, I'm going to break it all down: why she's asking in the first place, the psychology behind it, and most importantly, the exact responses that will leave her impressed, intrigued, and wanting to know more. Stick around, because we're not just talking about age, we're diving into the art of self-assured communication. These tips aren't just about answering one question, they're about reshaping the way you carry yourself in every interaction. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments, how do you typically respond when someone asks your age? Are you someone who tells it straight, avoids the question, or maybe even throws in a joke? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this is the kind of content you find helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. We're building a space here to help you master authentic, confident connections, and this is just the beginning. Let's be real, when someone asks about your age, especially if they're younger, it can feel like a loaded question. Thoughts start racing. Are they trying to size me up? Do they think I'm too old? Too young? What's their real motive? It's enough to make anyone overthink. But here's the thing, this question is rarely about the number. It's about you. How you respond speaks volumes about your confidence, self-awareness, and even your sense of humor. The key isn't just in what you say, but how you say it. Confidence, tone, and delivery can completely shift the energy of the interaction. And when you get it right, it can be the moment that builds attraction rather than ending the conversation awkwardly. Let me tell you a quick story. I was at this dinner party a few years ago, sitting at a table with a group of people I'd just met. The conversation was flowing, and everyone was getting along great. Then, out of nowhere, one of the women, who was clearly much younger than me, asked, "So how old are you?" I froze. I felt the entire table go silent, all eyes on me. I blurted out my exact age and tried to laugh it off, but the vibe immediately shifted. It wasn't that I'd said the wrong number. It was how I said it, uncertain, almost apologetic. And trust me, it showed. Looking back, I realized it had nothing to do with my age and everything to do with how I presented myself. That moment stuck with me, because I knew there was a better way to handle it. I just didn't know how at the time. But over the years, I've learned that situations like this are actually an opportunity. They're a chance to communicate confidence, build rapport, and even spark curiosity. And it all starts with understanding the dynamics behind that one question. So, what changed? I started to pay attention not just to how I responded, but to why the question was being asked in the first place. What was the intent behind it? Was it simple curiosity, or was there something more? Once I figured that out, I realized I didn't need to panic. I didn't need to overthink. I just needed to stay calm, composed, and focus on turning the moment into something positive. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into now. Because it's not just about giving a clever answer, it's about understanding the psychology behind the question, owning your response, and using it as an opportunity to show confidence and authenticity. Section 1. Why she's asking the question. Let's tackle the question that's probably on your mind right now. Why does it even matter to her? Why is a younger woman asking about your age in the first place? The truth is, this isn't just a casual or random question. There's usually a deeper reason behind it, and understanding her intent is the first step to responding in a way that builds connection rather than creating awkwardness. So, let's break it down. What might she really mean when she asks, "How old are you?" 1. Curiosity. Sometimes it's purely innocent. She might just be curious about your life experiences or the kind of person you are. Maybe something about the way you carry yourself or the way you speak makes her want to know more. 2. Compatibility. Or in other cases, she might be trying to gauge compatibility. She could be wondering if you're in the same stage of life or if your values align. For her, your age might represent life experience, maturity, or even energy levels. 3. Confidence test. Oh, finally, and this is a big one, it's often a subtle confidence test. She might be testing how comfortable you are in your own skin. Are you proud of where you are in life, or do you hesitate, downplay yourself, or react defensively? These are just a few reasons, but notice something important: they all come down to one thing. How you respond reveals more about your confidence and self-assurance than the actual number ever could. Let me share a quick story to illustrate this. I was at a coffee shop not too long ago, striking up a conversation with the barista. She was noticeably younger, and after chatting for a bit, she asked, "So, how old are you?" At first, I thought she was just curious, but as we kept talking, I realized something deeper was going on. She mentioned that I reminded her of someone she looked up to, a mentor figure in her life. It wasn't about the number at all. It was about the vibe I gave off, the way I carried myself. That's when I learned that the why behind the question is far more important than the question itself. So here's what I want you to remember before you answer. Take a moment to assess her tone and intent. Is she genuinely curious, testing your confidence, or trying to figure out compatibility? Once you understand her why, you'll be able to respond with the right energy and tone. Section 2. The best responses. All right, now that we know why she's asking the question, let's focus on how to answer it in a way that works every single time. The goal here is to strike the perfect balance between confidence and approachability. You want your response to showcase self-assurance without coming off as defensive or insecure. So, here are 3 strategies you can use, depending on the vibe of the moment and what feels most natural to you. 1. Playful response. Oh, example, old enough to know what I'm doing, but young enough to keep learning. This response is lighthearted and confident. It shows you're comfortable with your age without fixating on it. Plus, it keeps the energy playful and engaging. 2. Honest with a twist. Oh, example, I'm 45, but age is just a number. It's about how you feel, right? This approach is straightforward, but also reframes the conversation. It shifts the focus from the number to your outlook on life, which can be incredibly attractive. 3. Redirect the question. Oh, example, guess. I'd love to hear your thoughts first. This tactic turns the question into a fun interaction. It engages her, invites curiosity, and makes the conversation more dynamic. Plus, it shows you're comfortable enough to steer the interaction. Now, I want to hear from you of these 3 responses. Which one feels the most natural for you? Or do you have a go-to answer that's worked for you in the past? Share it in the comments because I'd love to hear your perspective. And remember, the best response is the one that feels authentic to you. These strategies are here to guide you, but at the end of the day, it's about owning your truth and delivering it with confidence. Section 3. Avoiding common pitfalls. We've talked about the best ways to answer when a younger woman asks your age. But now let's shift gears and focus on something just as important: what not to do. Even the most confident person can make mistakes in the heat of the moment, especially if they feel caught off guard. Unfortunately, the wrong response can turn an otherwise engaging interaction into something awkward or even uncomfortable. So, let's break down the most common pitfalls and why they can derail the conversation. Knowing these will help you avoid them entirely. Common mistakes. 1. Over-explaining. You might feel the need to over-justify your age or why it doesn't matter, diving into a long-winded explanation. For example, well, I'm 50, but I don't feel like it. I work out, I eat healthy, and I'm actually more active now than I was in my 30s. This makes you sound defensive, as if you're trying too hard to prove something. It can also make the interaction feel forced or unnatural. Instead of explaining, keep it short and confident. Your energy speaks louder than words. 2. Being defensive. Responding with insecurity, like saying, "Why does it matter?" or "Why are you asking?" instantly shifts the tone of the conversation. This puts her on the defensive and suggests you're uncomfortable with your age. It also shuts down the opportunity to keep things playful and engaging. Assume her intentions are positive and respond with curiosity or humor instead of defensiveness. 3. Self-deprecation. Making jokes at your own expense, like saying, "Oh, I'm too old for this conversation," or "old enough to be your dad," can kill the vibe instantly. While self-deprecating humor might seem like a safe bet, it often backfires by making you seem insecure or overly critical of yourself. A little humor is fine, but it should be light and confident, something that keeps the energy positive. So, what's the takeaway? It all comes down to projecting confidence and keeping things simple. When someone asks your age, remember, your response isn't just about the words, it's about the energy you bring to the conversation. Stay calm, composed, and focus on keeping the interaction engaging and lighthearted. Now think of it this way. The question of your age is a moment to show how secure you are in who you are. When you avoid over-explaining, defensiveness, and self-deprecation, you turn a potentially tricky situation into an opportunity to showcase your confidence and charm. This is why everything we've talked about today matters. Whether it's understanding why she's asking, crafting the perfect response, or avoiding common pitfalls, it all comes down to the energy you bring. Confidence transforms a simple question into an opportunity for connection and respect. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We started by exploring why a younger woman might ask about your age. It's not just curiosity, it's often about compatibility or even a subtle confidence test. Then we went through the best responses, keeping it playful, honest with a twist, or redirecting the question. Each of these strategies helps you respond with confidence and maintain the energy of the conversation. And finally, we talked about the common mistakes to avoid over-explaining, being defensive, or making self-deprecating jokes. Confidence is key, and how you frame the conversation matters far more than the actual number you give. Now, think about this. The next time someone asks you your age, how will you respond? Will you use humor, keep it simple, or invite them to guess? Practice a response that feels authentic to you, one that reflects your confidence and self-assurance. Remember, it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Your tone, your delivery, and the energy you bring to the moment are what truly make an impression. If this video gave you valuable insights, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button if you're walking away with new strategies you're excited to try. And share this video with a friend who might need a confidence boost in their conversations. Every interaction is an opportunity to showcase who you are. So the next time someone asks your age, don't overthink it. Let your response reflect your self-assurance, your authenticity, and your ability to connect. Own the moment, and most importantly, own who you are.